Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Tuesday, September 2, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, St. Anne father charged with the murder of toddlers. The St. Anne police have charged Elaine Saunders for a double murder which occurred in Swamper District, Monique, St. Anne, on Tuesday, August 28. The 22-year-old was charged on Monday in connection with the deaths of his son, Amir Saunders, and his 3-year-old brother. Both boys were reportedly stabbed to death about 8 p.m. on Tuesday at their home in the community. Cops ordered to return 295 pounds of ganja to Rastafarians, but 124 pounds missing. A judge ordered that the police should return a massive quantity of 295 pounds of ganja to the owners or representatives of a Rastafarian organization, Zion Yard, marking a major victory for Rastafarians who are defending their constitutional rights to freedom of religion and the use of ganja for sacramental purposes. The ruling stemmed from the dismissal of charges against Andy Blake, who was charged by narcotics police on July 3, 2025 for possession, dealing, using premises to store, and the cultivation of 295 pounds of ganja. Marcus Goff, a member of the Rastafari community, who is also the attorney at law representing Andy Blake, hailed the dismissal of the charges as a major victory. Her Honor, Mrs. Dion Lawrence Pivot, ordered that the ganja which was seized by the police on July 3, 2025 was to be released forthwith and returned to the owners or representatives of Zion Yard Rastafarian organization who identified themselves in court as the lawful owners of the seized ganja, Goff said. For years, Rastafarians have complained about the constant harassment of Rastafarians who plant ganja for sacramental purposes, pointing to the amendment of the Dangerous Drugs Act in 2015, which gave the group the right to use ganja as sacrament. The accused, Andy Blake, first went to court on Monday, August 11, and on the second court date, August 14, the judge dismissed the charges after the prosecution offered no evidence on all charges and Blake was discharged. However, there is a twist to the tale, as 124 pounds of the ganja cannot be found by the police. Goff explained that the narcotics police have been unable to account for 124 pounds of ganja, which is still missing out of the original confiscated hold of pounds which was seized. He is mulling legal action against the narcotics police if the cops fail to return the sacramental ganja within the next 7 days. I intend to send a letter to narcotics to request an immediate investigation into the protocols and the procedures in place to properly store accused persons' ganja during pending court cases and to ensure that accused persons are informed of the location and the circumstances of storage of their ganja, and demand the return of the remaining 124 pounds of ganja to Zion Yard representatives within 7 days, failing which we have instructions to file a lawsuit against the narcotics police for the return of the herb and the breach of constitutional rights to freedom of religion, Goff said. Goff said that the police failed to return the ganja on the same day, August 14, 2025, despite waiting patiently and making inquiries in persons with the police at the Black River and the Junction police stations in St. Elizabeth, and the police at Mandeville police station, and at the narcotics office in Mandeville, and with the narcotics headquarters in Kingston. We were unable to ascertain from the police the whereabouts of the seized ganja and unable to collect on the same day pursuant to the order of the parish court judge, Goff said. Eventually, 5 days later, August 19, Blake and the other representatives of Zion Yard attended at the offices of the narcotics headquarters at 230 Spanish Town Road in Kingston, but the police only retrieved 123 pounds of ganja at first. It was not until sometime later that day, after they left the narcotics headquarters, that they were called by narcotics police to return to narcotics in Kingston to retrieve the additional ganja which was seized. However, when they returned to collect the returning ganja, the police only returned an additional 48 pounds of ganja to the Zion Yard Rastafari representatives. The Rastafarian community is fed up with the continual targeting and unfair prosecution of members of the community for ganja, despite the 2015 amendments to the Dangerous Drugs Act intended to recognize and to protect the community's rights. It is clear that the narcotics police are not fully aware of the extent of Rastafari's ganja rights or how they are to approach, investigate, determine and resolve the rights of Rastafari in relation to ganja, Goff said. Goff asserted that in July of this year, the Rastafari and the Grassroots Ganja Association requested a meeting with the Commissioner of Police to discuss and to put an end to police harassment. But we have not received a response despite the passage of 7 weeks, he noted. Goff also revealed that the Minister of Justice in 2023 had sent a letter to the then Commissioner of Police informing him of Rastafari ganja rights and requesting that the police ensure accommodation for Rastafari to exercise their sacramental rights. Raga will also be requesting a meeting with the narcotics police to try to resolve these continuing problems of police harassment and abuse of power, Goff concluded. Taxi driver shot dead during dispute with another cabbie. A taxi driver was shot dead on Princess Street in downtown Kingston on Monday morning following a dispute with another cabbie who was also a licensed firearm holder. The dead man has been identified as 44-year-old Carla Ellis, otherwise called Foley, from 4th Street, Kingston 12. Reports indicated that around 10:30 a.m., the licensed firearm holder was sitting in his taxi at the location when Ellis approached him and an argument developed. During the argument, the police said Ellis attacked the other cabbie and punched him repeatedly in his face. In fear for his life, he pulled his licensed Glock 17 pistol from his waistband and discharged one round, hitting Ellis in the head and killing him on the spot. Police said intelligence revealed that the dispute was about the other cabbie parking and picking up passengers at the nearby Kingston Public Hospital. It was unearthed that both men had ongoing disputes in relation to the picking up of passengers and that Ellis had threatened the other cabbie on several occasions. The firearm was seized and the other cabbie taken into police custody after the incident. Tide race draws a Diaspora home as Jamaica heads to polls tomorrow. As Jamaicans head to the polls on Wednesday to elect a new government, several members of the Diaspora have returned to the island to cast their votes, underscoring the significance they place on this election. Over the past month, social media has been awash with videos capturing a vibrant and emotional migration, not for vacation, but for democracy. Dozens of Jamaicans, draped in the bold greens and oranges of their chosen political parties, have been filmed boarding flights back home, determined not to miss the chance to vote in what many are calling one of the most pivotal elections in recent history. One now viral clip shows the inside of a plane transformed into a flying celebration. The cabin echoes with singing and laughter as passengers sway and dance to march into victory, the People's National Party's infectious campaign anthem. In the comments section, the energy is just as electric. Diaspora members of the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and elsewhere post their own travel countdowns, ticket screenshots, and reunion plans. 12 of my family members are flying in, one woman proudly declared. Another added that after the death of her parents, all 9 of her siblings were heading back home to vote. The mood is celebratory but serious. Many say they believe the race is too close to call and their votes could make the difference. Sociologist Tamar Newman, who resides in Queens, New York in the United States, will be voting in a Jamaican election for the first time. This election is quite critical for the people in the diaspora, and we who have family ties and business investments in Jamaica should take the time to participate in the electoral process to have a say in the government we want, instead of staying on the sidelines and make demands, she told the news. Newman said that she will be looking to vote for the political party that offers initiatives and policies that will move Jamaica forward. I am not voting because of political affiliation, but because of the policies. I know several people who are in Jamaica to vote because of their political ties, but I am not voting that way. I believe that too many Jamaicans are opting out of the electoral system, and my coming to Jamaica to vote may inspire Jamaicans in the country to also exercise their franchise, she said. Newman said that she has traveled to several parishes since arriving in Jamaica, and she feels that the election is too close to call. I believe that the election will be tight, and I can't see a clear winner right now, she said. Latoya Linton, who lives in the U.S. state of North Carolina, told the news that she was motivated to return to Jamaica to vote in this election because she wants the progress that she sees in the country to continue. This is the first time that I feel the need to come to Jamaica to vote. I just got a new job and I have taken time off to come to Jamaica because I believe that it is that important, she said. Linton said she is pleased with the developments she sees taking place in Jamaica and wanted them to continue. Linton feels that it is the patriotic duty of all Jamaicans who have the ability to vote to do so, and is encouraging electors not to sit out the vote. Rosalie Cameron, a registered nurse from England, agreed. I am voting for the future of the country, for the future generation, and so it is very important that I cast a vote, she said. We in the diaspora cannot just sit on the fence of wish for better for the country. We must become a part of the process, especially if we still have family members living in Jamaica, as well as investments in the country, said Linton. Charmaine Harrison, a social worker from the Bronx, is participating in her third Jamaican election. It would be remiss of me not to participate, she said, noting that by voting, she will be shaping the future of the country, not only for the present generation, but for future ones. Leon Lynch, an educator from Brooklyn, stressed the broader implications of the vote. The outcome of the elections will also have an impact on Jamaicans in the diaspora, so it is important for us in the diaspora who have a vote in Jamaica to exercise that franchise, he said. Lynch told the news that the diaspora has been calling for greater inclusion in the development of Jamaica, and if they want to be taken seriously about contributing to the country's development, participating in the electoral process is important. A total of 189 candidates will face voters on Wednesday, with both major political parties, the governing Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party, fielding full slates of candidates. Voters will be selecting legislators to fill the 63 seats in the House of Representatives. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.